Diviértete, aprende e infórmate con Jump into Rionegro Bilingüe, un espacio para mejorar tu nivel de inglés y entérate de todo lo que acontece en Rionegro y en el programa municipal de bilingüismo.
Have fun, learn and be informed through Jump into Rionegro Bilingüe, a space to improve your English level and find out everything that happens in Rionegro and related to the municipal bilingual program. Welcome. This program is sponsored by the municipal's mayor's office, Rionegro Advancing More Together, and the Centro Colombo Americano.
Welcome to today's show, Jump into Rionegro Bilingüe. We're so happy to have you here with us.
Bridget and I are here once again to share these 15 minutes with you all. Bienvenidos.
Now, in today's show, we're going to talk about something that will make your mouth water.
Make my mouth water? Hacerme salivar la boca? What could it be? I mean, do you mean the lovely delicacies, las delicias, that Colombia has to offer?
Yes, today's show is all about food and drink, where we will discuss the typical food that you can find in Colombia and especially in the Rionegro area.
It sounds delicious just thinking about it.
Hey Maria, did you know that the bandeja paisa, in its origins, was once eaten for breakfast?
You're kidding! That dish is huge! I cannot imagine eating that for breakfast.
It's true. Back in the day, hace muchos años, farmers would eat the bandeja paisa in the morning before they left to go to work in the fields. As the dish is so complete with rice, beans, meat, and even egg, then this meant that the farmers had enough energy to be able to work the fields all day long.
Wow, how interesting. I'm sure many of the other typical Colombian dishes have fascinating stories like that one.
I'm sure they do. Let's find out.
Y ahora, give me 5.
Okay, so Bridget, do you know what the typical food in Rionegro is?
No, I don't. Isn't it the bandeja paisa? I thought that was the typical food in all of Antioquia.
That's true. The bandeja paisa is a very typical paisa food, but Rionegro specifically has a delicacy that is considered its typical food.
Oh, I have no idea what it could be.
Okay, let me give you some clues. First of all, it's something you can find easily on the streets, in a small store or granero, literally anywhere.
Can you give me another clue, please?
Its main ingredient is corn, and it's generally filled with potato, meat, chicken, and really whatever else you want to add.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about, but could you please give me the last clue?
All right, it's a small dish. So generally when you eat this food, you'll eat 2, 3, or 4 of them at the same time, dipped in ají, and it's fried.
Now I know what it is. It's the empanada.
Yes, you're right.
The most traditional festival in Rionegro is the Fiesta Nacional de la Empanada, which is held in San Antonio. This is generally celebrated in August, and lots of different activities are done around one of the most iconic foods in Rionegro.
Did you know that this year more than 16,000 people participated in the traditional empanada festivities, where over 220,000 empanadas were sold over 4 days?
Wow, that's a lot of empanadas.
So Rionegro is a municipality that has lots of rural areas. So the mayor's office makes sure to highlight the hard work that all the farmers in the municipality carry out, which obviously impacts the fresh food available for all.
That's true. In September, it was the Día del Productor Agropecuario, which celebrated the work of close to 800 agricultural workers in Rionegro.
Exactly. September is the month of celebrating farmers and the hard work they do every day. And the mayor's office has held lots of different celebrations highlighting farmers and rural women.
These festivities started in August and will run until November, and they will be held within different rural communities. The activities will include recognition for the farmers, artistic performances, music, gastronomy, and recreational activities to integrate the different communities.
Such a great way to highlight the important work and impact farmers have on what we eat daily.
Ahora vamos con bilingual guests.
So, to follow along the lines of what we are talking about today, we'll have some guests here to share insights on food.
That's right. To start off, we have Vicky Montoya, a chef who has her own workshop called In Cucina, which offers programas de formación gastronómica para niños y jóvenes. Welcome, Vicky. What are some of the most popular recipes that you prepare in your workshops?
Some of the most famous recipes that we prepare in our workshops are recipes related to Italian food. We have a program which is traveling around the world, and in that program what we do is we try to make at least 4 recipes, both savory and sweet, from a specific place. And when I ask people what they want to cook, pasta turns out to be the most famous workshop.
Why is it important to teach kids how to cook and prepare food? Tell us how you promote healthy eating through your workshops.
Why is it important for kids to learn how to cook? For many reasons. Number one, the kitchen allows kids to explore with different flavors, different ingredients, different textures. So cooking allows a process of learning based on experiencing, which is fun and yet very important in the learning process. And it has also a secondary, which is the actually main objective, and is to be able to learn how to cook. I mean, we don't want to learn to make recipes. We want to learn the basics from cooking school. So we learn techniques. We learn different ways to prepare, to make preparations with different ingredients.
Thanks, Vicky, for joining us today on the show. Now let's welcome Marcel Anderboom, who is from the Netherlands, Los Países Bajos, to tell us his experience regarding food from his home country and Colombia.
Thanks for joining us, Marcel. So please talk to us about the typical food from the Netherlands.
Hello, it's great to be on the show. Thanks for having me. Well, let me start by saying that there's not really a typical Dutch gastronomy. Our kitchen is not as diverse and rich as the French, Italian, or Asian cuisine. Dutch food is quite basic. It's still good though. I mean, one of my favorite dishes is hutspot. It's mashed potatoes with carrots and some onions. Usually we put it as like a little mountain on the plate. We make a little hole on top and we put gravy in it. And then we eat it with a sausage or a giant meatball.
When you were living in Colombia, what did you like to eat? What's your favorite Colombian food?
Oh, mondongo. Mondongo is my favorite dish, my favorite Colombian dish. But in general, all the Colombian soups are really good. Like sancocho, ajiaco. I like soups that are filled with lots of meat and vegetables, and it's a really good meal, I think. Besides that, I also like tamales. I didn't eat it that much, but once in a while a tamales is really nice to have. And I have to give you credit for your beans. Colombian beans are the best. In the Netherlands, beans are not really considered as something special or tasty. There's not too much flavor, but the way you prepare them in Colombia is amazing. I mean, it's from another world. Your beans are super delicious. So I liked eating those as well in a good cazuela.
Was it difficult to adapt to Colombian cuisine?
Not really. I mean, there's a lot of variety in your food, so you can always find something you like. And Colombian meals don't really have strange things added or any weird flavors, so that may help. Although, talking about that flavor, there's something I had to adapt to, and that's the lack of spices, especially pepper. I love spicy food, and that's quite hard to get in Colombia. Also, a lot of food in your country is fried, and I'm not a big fan of that. And, shall I say this? Yes, I don't like chicharrón. I'm so sorry. But it's hard to avoid in Colombia, especially Antioquia. But I never forget the surprised faces every time I told that to my Paisa friends. But overall, I didn't have any trouble getting used to your food. I like it. I love it. I mean, it's delicious.
Which foods from the Netherlands could you find in Colombia? And which Colombian foods can you find back home?
Well, I found some Dutch cheese in the supermarkets in Colombia, in the Éxito, for example, but that one was, I think it was a fake one, because I bought it and I ate it and it wasn't the Dutch cheese at all. But once at Carulla, I found some real Dutch cheese, but it was very, very expensive. I also found these stroopwafels. these Dutch waffles with syrup in it, at some hip coffee place in Bogota, and then 2 years later at Tostao. So you can find them there. Besides that, something else typically Dutch. Yeah, well, the beers. I don't know if you know Heineken or Grolsch. Those are Dutch beer brands, and you can buy them at supermarkets or in a bar. As for Colombian foods in the Netherlands, actually I haven't found any. I don't think there are. Well, we do have some Colombian restaurants, so you can have beer, like the Club Colombia. You can have a Club Colombia there, and you can eat a mondongo there. But in the supermarkets, you cannot find any Colombian products. Although I hope they start selling chocoramo.
Thanks, Marcel, for sharing your experience with Colombian cuisine.
Comenzamos con Culture Bites.
Cuisine around the world is so diverse and varied that it sometimes can be difficult to adapt to the food when you visit a new country.
Oh yes, this especially happens in countries where spicy food is the norm, es lo más común. So when you go to Mexico or India where they add hot spices or curry to all of their food, it can take some time to adapt to that way of eating.
For me, it was difficult when I first arrived to Colombia, as in England, we don't eat food like arepa or a lot of rice, and these foods are staples here. What about you?
I mean, nothing really, but obviously I didn't start eating street food right away. I was a little bit weary about buying chuzos or things on the street.
Bridget, what Colombian foods do you love, and which ones are you not too keen on?
I love the variety of fruits as I don't have access to them back home. I also love arequipe and obleas. I don't like mazamorra, nor do I put cheese on a lot of things, like salpicón with cheese. That tastes weird to me. What about you, Maria?
I definitely love things like ajiaco and chicharrón, and I'm a big fan of Christmas food like buñuelos and natilla. I have to say that I don't like mondongo, sancocho, or frijoles that much. Let's hear from some other people talking about their favorite and not so favorite foods.
Hello, I'm Andres, and I want to talk about my favorite food, which is hot chocolate with cheese. I really love it to go to Santa Elena and eat it there.
Hello there, my name is Cesar. I want to tell that I really love all sancochos in Colombia. I don't know why, but I'm passionate about eating all of the sancochos. Mondongo, cazuela de mariscos, the one from Bogota that is ajiaco, and all of them.
Hello everybody, my name is Andres Gaviria, and well, as for my favorite food, I don't think I have a favorite Colombian food. I would say I prefer Japanese food. I think I'm a fan of sushi or sashimi.
Hello, mi nombre es Cielo de Osa, mi comida favorita es la bandeja paisa. ¿Por qué me gusta la bandeja paisa? Por toda la tradición que trae la bandeja.
Hi, my name is Cristina Diaz, and my favorite Colombian food is rice with chicken. I liked this food because my mom used to make it for my special birthdays.
Lots of variety in terms of likes and dislikes of Colombian food. But what is clear is that there is so much on offer that it can cater to all people.
That's right. Now, what's your favorite food? We'd love to hear from you, so participate on social media using the hashtag Riobilingüe 2022. Tell us what food you like and which food you don't like so much. ¡Anímate!
Nuestra sección Study Tips.
It's time for today's
Study tip. So today's tip is very much related to food.
Exactly. So when you are writing up your grocery list, la lista del mercado, try writing some of the words in English so that you can start practicing them.
And you can look up those words that you don't know online and use the list to practice them.
And if you go grocery shopping with your family, it would be fun to call out the name in English and see if they can bring the product. Like telling them, trágame the milk. That way you can practice with your entire family.
A great way to study together.
También queremos escucharte. Escríbenos usando el hashtag Riobilingüe 2022 y participa de este espacio de aprendizaje y multiculturalidad.
We've come to the end of our show. Thank you all for sharing this gastronomic adventure with us today.
We hope to have you join us again next week.
Bye-bye.
Gracias por conectarte con nosotros en Jumping to Rionegro Bilingüe. Recuerda sintonizarnos cada jueves entre las 6:45 y las 7 de la noche en COREDI FM 90.5, porque juntos avanzamos más. Hasta pronto.
Thanks for joining us today on Jump into Rionegro Bilingüe. Remember to tune in every Thursday between 6:45 and 7 p.m. on COREDI FM 90.5. Advancing more together. See you next time.